Hello everyone. Welcome back to Twilight Tales, where nightmares aren't made, they're unleashed. If you're new here, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this with someone who sleeps with the lights off. Trust me, they'll thank you later, or hate you forever. Now turn off the lights, plug in your headphones, and get comfortable, because what you're about to hear will crawl under your skin and whisper in your ear long after the story ends. Tonight's tale is called The Shadowy Figure Walking. At night. It started with the footsteps, not thunderous or hurried, just soft, measured, like someone on a stroll or a hunter who had no need to rush. Jason lived on the edge of a quiet suburb, the kind where nothing really happened. The streets were lined with identical homes and manicured lawns, and the nights were so silent you could hear the hum of distant highway traffic if you listened hard enough. He wasn't used to silence. Having moved recently from New York City, he found the stillness unnerving. Too perfect, too staged. The first night he heard it, he was watching late-night reruns on his living room couch. The TV buzzed low, bathing the room in flickering light. It was past 1:30 a.m. when he noticed the sound. A faint shuffle on the concrete outside. He muted the TV. Shuffle. Step. Pause. He moved to the window and peeked through the blinds. A man, or what he assumed was a man, was walking down the sidewalk across the street. Tall, lanky, wrapped in what looked like an old, oversized coat. He had a strange gait, like every step was calculated, performed. Jason waited for him to pass under the street lamp, but he didn't. The figure stopped just before the circle of light, almost as if he knew. Jason squinted, heart tapping faster. The man stood there for a long moment, facing forward. Then, without warning, his head slowly turned, directly toward Jason's window. Jason dropped the blinds. He stood there in the dark for what felt like forever, barely breathing. Finally, he dared another peek. The street was empty. The next night it happened again. The same time, the same footsteps. Only this time Jason didn't look. He didn't need to. He knew it was the same figure. And this time, the footsteps paused right in front of his house. Jason turned off the TV. The sound stopped too. Total silence. He sat there in the dark, waiting. A full minute passed, then two. When he finally gathered the courage to peek through the blinds, he saw nothing. The sidewalk was empty again. But in the morning, when he opened the front door to get the newspaper, he saw them. Footprints. Wet, black footprints, leading from the sidewalk straight up to his door. By the third night, Jason was convinced someone was messing with him, some weird local creep trying to spook the new guy. He decided to wait, lights off, crouched by the window with his phone camera ready. 1:37 a.m. He heard it. Step, step, pause. His heart pounded so hard he felt it in his throat. He pressed record and carefully pulled the blinds down just enough to film through the crack. There he was. Same coat, same height, standing at the edge of the street lamp's glow. Jason zoomed in. The figure's face was wrong. It wasn't hidden. There just wasn't much there. No eyes, no mouth. just a smooth stretch of skin that shimmered faintly under the distant light. Jason gasped, his breath fogging up the window. The figure's head jerked, fast, toward him. He ducked. The camera was still recording. He waited, phone trembling in his hand, until the footsteps faded. When he watched the footage the next morning, the screen was completely black. The timer ran, but no image appeared. No sound, just void. He checked the other videos on his phone. They were fine, just not that one. The next few nights were hell. Every night, the same steps, the same silence, the same invisible presence, always at 1:37 a.m. He tried calling the cops once, but by the time they arrived, everything looked normal. They brushed it off as paranoia. New place jitters. Jason stopped sleeping. He tried staying at a hotel, but the footsteps followed. Down a different hallway. A different door. Always 1:37 a.m. He came back to his house. What choice did he have? But now the footsteps came closer. Each night they didn't just stop at the sidewalk or the porch. One night they made it inside. He heard the lock click open, not break, open, like someone had the key. He was upstairs, hiding in the closet. He didn't know why that spot felt safest. Maybe because it was small, contained, controlled. The sound of the front door swinging open sent an icy wave through his chest. Then, step, up the stairs. Slow, deliberate, like death counting down seconds. He gripped the closet door, breathing through his teeth. Then the sound stopped. Right outside the door. Silence. Then a whisper. Low. Rusted. Impossible. "I see you now." Jason screamed and kicked the door open, swinging wildly with a baseball bat he had stashed beside the dresser. The hallway was empty. He ran out of the house that night barefoot in just a t-shirt and boxers. He drove 3 towns over to a cousin's place, crashed there. Didn't say a word. The cousin thought he was on something. He wasn't. After a week away, he thought maybe it had passed. He wanted it to pass. He came back to grab the rest of his stuff, planning to sell the house and leave. That night, he didn't plan to stay. But the car wouldn't start. Dead. No clicks, no engine crank, just a useless brick of metal in the driveway. His phone was at 3%. The charger? Inside. He walked up the steps and unlocked the door with shaking hands. The moment he stepped inside, the lights flickered, then went out. Dark. Not moonlight dark, not blackout dark, swallowed by something. Dark. His phone died in his hand. From the black came the footsteps. Closer now. Closer than ever. He moved through the living room by memory, knocking over a lamp. It shattered. The sound echoed wrong, like it didn't hit the ground but disappeared into liquid. He reached for the front door, but the knob was gone, not jammed, not stuck. Gone. Smooth wall. Behind him, breathing. Hot. Damp. On his neck. He turned slowly. In the dark, he saw eyes. Dozens of them. Red. Blinking. All inside the shadowy figure. It no longer had a shape. It was like smoke held together by something hateful. It hissed and stretched and whispered all at once. "You brought me here," it said in his own voice. Jason ran for the stairs, but they stretched longer and longer, as if the house was becoming something else. No matter how far he ran, the hallway never ended. The walls began to move, breathe. Pictures on the walls now showed him sleeping, eating, bathing, taken from angles inside the house. Ones he never noticed. One photo made him stop cold. It showed him hiding in the closet, and behind him, a hand on his shoulder. Jason woke up in the bathtub. The lights were on. Everything was normal. Had he dreamed it? His phone buzzed next to him, fully charged. He looked at the time. He stared at the screen, not blinking. Then it turned 1:37, and from the hallway came the footsteps. That was the last anyone heard from Jason. When the neighbors reported a smell, the police broke in. They found the house covered in mold, windows painted black, 100 pictures of Jason, all with no eyes, burned holes where the eyes should have been. His bathtub was filled with black water. Jason was never found. But the camera in his living room, wired to the cloud, uploaded one last clip before it shorted out. A figure walking slowly through the hallway, coat, shadow, no face, and as it passed the camera, it stopped, then turned, and waved. So, if you're ever up late and you hear footsteps outside your window, soft ones, slow ones, don't look, don't listen, and whatever you do, don't check the time. Because if it's 1:37 a.m., he's walking. And he might be walking for you. Thanks for joining us tonight on Twilight Tales. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who's always up too late. They might just need a reminder that sometimes sleep is safer than staying awake. Until next time. Leave the lights on just in case.